Hey guys, hey guys, good evening. Great to see all of you people here. Welcome to the second session of Android Study Jams conducted by DSC MEC. And it's great to see you join here for this event today. Are you guys all excited to learn something new today? Are you guys curious to know what are the basic terminologies used in Android app development? If yes, put a number three in the chats, and also tell us if you have already started your Android development journeys. It will be great to hear from you. And now, let me just welcome our facilitator for this event, Maria Rachel. She is the current Flutter and Android lead at DSC and she'll be taking this session for you today. So, hey Rachel.
Hi guys, so it's really exciting to see you all here. So as Gokul mentioned, so if you have started on your Android journey, so can you just drop in number 3 in the chat box? Okay, Nas has started his journey, Anup Murugala. Great, so people have started. Any more? Okay, so only a few people have started. It's okay. So this is basically to get you familiarized with the basic terms used when you develop the application. Okay, not really. Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll start the session by just sharing my screen. Just hold on for a minute. Yeah, okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all. So, okay, so some of you have started your journey, right? So you might know that Android Studio looks like this. So for those who are new, let's start from the basics. So if you want to create a new project, that is start creating a new application, for that you have to click on this option that you see here, create new project. So I'll just click on that. And now you can see various templates like it's basic activity, empty activity, and so many more below here. So what we choose here is empty activity because that is what has been given according to the Android Study Jams course. So I'll just show you based on that. So what this basic activity actually is, so it has a button already present when you start the application for the first time. That is this particular button that you see, right? It is already present without you having to code that particular thing. So whereas in this empty activity, nothing is present on the screen. It's just a plain screen as you can see here. So I'll just select that and click on next. Okay, so name. So the name of the application. So all of you use Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Right? So they are the name of that particular application. So similar to that, we have to alter the name based on what we want our app to be called. Suppose my app is you want to call it my app or something. So here I'll just call it example for the moment. So example. So this is the name of the app that will be shown when you install the app and things like that. So next thing I want to talk to you about is this language Kotlin. It's already set there, so you don't have to do much. Now minimum SDK. So I'll explain what the term minimum SDK is a little into the session. But right now we have chosen the API 19, so that is the KitKat Android version. So that is the minimum SDK. So we have chosen. So now when you click on finish, you'll be done with setting up your app, and you can proceed to getting started. So this will take a long time, at least 2 to 3 minutes for the setup time. So I already have a backup done and kept. So I'll just switch to that and we'll move forward. Just a second. Okay. So any doubts till now? If you have, maybe just drop it in the chat. SDK. So I'll actually mention that a little into the session. So if I take that right now, it might not be as clear because it is being covered a little into the session. So I'll just mention that there for you. Yeah, Android version and SDK. Like Android version, I'll explain that a little later because it might not be clear right now. So is that fine, or do you want me to stick to it and explain that? Okay, so uh, this is what your screen will look like for the first time when when it is set up. So I haven't made a lot of changes here. So there are few files that are supposed to be loaded here. So it is taking a little time. So just please bear with that. Okay. So once these files are loaded, they are good to go. Okay. Yeah. So these have come up. So now you can see there are three main folders: manifest, Java, and REST. So I'll explain manifest a little later because the other ones are a little easier to understand at the beginning. So first, let's start with the Java folder. Okay, so the Java folder, it basically stores Java or Kotlin files. I had mentioned in the first session that Kotlin is interoperable with Java, right? So that basically means a lot of functions present in Java are used by Kotlin. So that is why the folder is commonly called as Java. It can be either Java files or Kotlin files. So then you have something called REST. The REST, it is the resource folder that stores all the resources. Will you teach Kotlin? I had actually taken a session on the basics of Kotlin that is there available on the DSC YouTube page. So you can just check that out. So now the resource folder. So I'll just open it. You can see multiple folders below it, right? So let's start with drawable. So drawable, it is basically used to store images like the background images or the effects that we need and all things related to images. And the layout, it is basically the design of how our application is going to look. And then the next thing is map. So map, I'll just open one of this frame. So this is what our application, that is the app icon, is going to look like. It is also called as the launcher icon. So basically, as I had mentioned before, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all of that, they have particular app icons. Like. So for our app, this is the automatic logo that will be shown when you download the app. If you want to change, you can do that within here. All of that is actually covered in the Android Study Jams course. Okay, so that is about bitmap and values. So values, they are used to store string variables. It's not string, all variables. So variables are basically used to store the value of some content, right? So that is what values are done. Okay. Now, Gradle scripts. So a Gradle script, it is basically used to specify the structure of a program. Structure of the project. So that is what Gradle basically is, and it contains all dependencies. So does any of you know what a dependency is? So if you do, just drop it in the chat box. If you don't, just drop in a no also. So it's completely fine. If you know, just maybe drop in the what it stands for, or just do it. No. Okay, there is like this delay when we use StreamYard. So if you have put a few chats, it's not yet visible to me. So please bear with the delay. Okay, yeah. So no. Okay, so that is basically why this session has been kept, depending other applications. Kind of, yeah. So basically, it means that suppose you have heard about applications using Google API and things like that. Right? So basically, what that means is your app depends on the Google API. So suppose you want to use the Google Maps feature. So your app depends on Google Map. So that is basically what dependency stands for. So they are a set of extra libraries that you download for making your app depend on that particular API, maybe YouTube API or Google Maps and things like that. So is that clear? Okay, so the next thing I would like to talk about is the build Gradle. So when I open the build Gradle, you can see here something called the min SDK version. So min SDK, I had talked about minimum SDK earlier, right? So that I had told I'll explain it a little along. So I'll just explain it that right. So minimum SDK version. So here it is 90. So it is the minimum Android version that our application can support. So suppose if my mobile phone runs on a version lower than KitKat, this particular application will not be supported on that phone. That is, you cannot use this application on that phone. So that is what minimum SDK version stands for. It is a minimum Android version required for our application to run on it. And target SDK version is the exact opposite of that. So target SDK version, it basically stands for the maximum Android version that our app can support. So that is what that is. So if I make a change here, I'll just show you. So you can see this particular option has come up, right? So sync now, it basically, so that means that every time you make some change in the build Gradle, it is very, very important to sync your file, or else that particular changes won't be reflected on our application. So I have given the sync, and it might take a little time, maybe around a minute. So by the time it syncs, I'll just explain what manifest is. So manifest, it basically is an application. It has multiple activities. So an activity is, suppose you have, let's think of an app. It has a login screen, and when you give it the login credentials, you are taken to the home screen maybe. So that is two screens, right? So the login screen in itself is an activity, and the other one, the home screen, it is also an activity. So these are what activities are. So the manifest folder, it can help us to identify which activity we are currently working on, or like also the starting point of the activity. So that is what manifest file folder basically does. Okay, there is a small delay in syncing. So that is actually one of the, so I'll just wait for that and I'll come back to that. Okay, so can you see this actually? So if you want, I'll just, is this visible? Okay, yeah, so now let's move on to the next. So I had told about something called design earlier, right? So let's just explore a little more on that. So for accessing that, you have to open the rest folder, inside that the layout folder, and click on the activity name exam. So I'll just close this here. So okay, whenever you want to create an activity, there are two codes are very small. So okay. Is this okay? That's like my laptop is lagging a little bit because of the sync I have given before. This is okay, yeah. Okay, so now this is what the design folder is. So whenever you create an activity, there is something called a design and a working. So the design, it is basically this thing what you see here. So it is an XML file, and the working, it is a Kotlin or a Java file. So suppose we, maybe put a button on our layout that is a design file. When you click on that button, nothing will happen. For something to happen, we have to give a function for it. That, like that is some operation has to be performed when you click on it. Okay, so that is given in the Kotlin file. So I'll just show it where that is present in the Java folder, first one, main activity. So that is where it is shown. Okay. So I cannot zoom in on this. This is the code size. So this is all available. This is the basic code that comes up whenever you set up your app. So if you can just try it out on your own. It's the same. There's no difference in how. So now let's talk about the design. So as I had mentioned in the first session, Hello World is the basic coding convention used by all programmers when they first start off with a programming language or a software. So that is why Hello World is already built when we set up the application for the first time. I did not put this in. This is already present when you set up the app. Okay, so this is what is called a text view. You can see the text view option highlighted here. So if you know what a text view might be, so can you just drop that in the chat box? Oh, does anyone have an idea what a text view might do? So it's basically what the term itself stands for, text view. So if you have some idea, suggestions, just drop it. Okay. So there is okay. So yeah, basically a text view. It stands for that is it is used to show text on the screen. So whatever text you have to click. So you want to just show, hello, my name is Truffle. So Truffle is basically this mascot that you can see on my side. So Truffle, hi, my name is Truffle. So that is a text. That is text that you want to show. So that is basically what a text view is. Yeah. So editing text is actually something different. That is not a text view. So when you go on text and click on text input layout and drag it in, that is what edit text is. Okay, so yeah, so zooming out. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is what an edit text is basically. So it is that is where you can enter user input. So the other one is just a text view. Okay, so I'll just dive a little more deeper into what text view is. So this text is very small, right? So it is very hard for a lot of you to see. So what we can do for that is we can alter the text size. So as you can see, this attributes here. So like if I click on, I click just on the screen. So these are basic attributes related to working of the application. If I particularly click on Hello World, it shows attributes related to the text field. So when I scroll down, I can see text size, text color, font family, a lot options that we can use. So I'll just alter the text size. So that is done by, you can either click on the drop down and select some value that is already present here. So I selected 24 SP. So as you can see, the size is increased. So or else what we can do is we can manually enter it. So 30. See, this is also possible. You can either click on values present in the dropdown, or you can type what values you want in the particular box there. So I'll just put it back to 24 soon. Yeah. Okay. So now you see this particular term SP, right? So before we jump into what SP is, can you might have heard of 28px, 23px in terms like that, right? So can you explain what px stands for? If you know what px is, so can you just what px stands for? Any idea? Except, yeah, exactly. So what? Sorry. So suppose instead of SP, I had given here PX. So this is, oh, it's too tiny. I'll just increase the size. So this is a size corresponding to 124px. Okay, so the screen sizes might be very different on based on your people might be using a Redmi Note. It depends. So the screen size is based on the model and the company rate. So that every screen size it will have the standard size. So sometimes even if your screen is big, the text might look too small, and that may cause inconvenience to you. So that is why instead of PX we use something called SP. So SP basically stands for scale independent pixels. I'll repeat, scale independent pixels. Okay. So basically, what that is, like every time we use a phone, we have a basic, what do you say, a font size set on our phone, right? So based on that font size, and it takes a ratio. So here I have put 24 SP. So it takes 24% of it, and that is what is shown as a screen size. So it is not constant for all screens for all mobile devices. It is based on what we have put in. Okay, so that is what it is. So now let's just add in a button. So if you want to take and drop this, you can just drag it like that here, and it will automatically come there. Okay. So actually, I did not say this, mention this before. So these all options present here, the palette, these are all views. So that is basically components that can be shown on the screen. So they are how the screen is viewed. So text view, button, image view, etc. So there are many options like that. Okay. So now when many of you might have noticed this particular red color exclamation. So I just click on that. So missing constraints in constraint layout. So okay, what the issue here is, so there's like whenever we place some new view into the screen, we have to provide positions for it. That is, we have to constrain it. So you can see this particular thing popping when I click on that. So initially we can start off by just putting plus symbols everywhere. So when I do that, these values have come here based on the position I put this button. So if I move the button here, it's a little slow. If I move the button here, these values change correspondingly. Or else I can also change the value here. So I can maybe change it to 105. See, the button has moved this way. So that is basically how we can, position the button. Yeah. So we have now added that. So let's just, you can't call a button always. Right? So let's click maybe, let's put the name as done. So for that, there is an option called text in declared attributes. So that is where we alter the name of the button. So maybe we can put here as done. So see, the name has changed to done in my application. So yeah. Now another thing is this yellow color exclamation mark. So when I click on that, hard coded text. Okay, so what is a hard coded text? So you have seen I had manually typed in done here, right? So that is what is hard code. I have typed it manually inside. So suppose I have the same done button in multiple screens. Maybe I have used it in 2 to 3 screens. So and a little into the programming part, I want to change it to maybe an OK button. So if I have hard coded the text there, I'll have to sit and change the value from done to OK at each position of the button. Instead, if I assign a variable for holding this, I can just change done to OK in one single position and it will be reflected at all places. So that is why we have this particular exclamation mark comes here. And to change that, we can just click on this. That is suggested fix, and this is actually a button. So when you click on fix, can you see a particular? Oh, you can't see a screen pop-up. So I'll just stop screen sharing and share my entire screen for a few minutes. There is a screen that has popped up, so just hold on. So yeah, this particular screen comes. Okay, so here there is resource name and resource value. So resource name, it basically stands for the variable name that we use. So let just to distinguish this, I'll just put this, put the resource name value is capital. So this value is what is shown on a particular layout. So this is what the user will be seeing when they use the application. And this is just the variable name used to reference this particular value. So when I click on OK, that particular exclamation mark there is gone. And I can view that by clicking on here. I had told that values are used to store the variables, right? So in strings.xml, we can see this particular name done found here. So this name, this is the variable name, and this is the value that will be shown here. So you can see few tags, right? So I'll just set it here. Okay, so just a second, hold on. I'll just switch back to the Windows screen share. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so in this particular screen, there you can see one kind of string there, and this particular, sorry, this model. So these are what are called starting tags and ending tags. So this highlighted one here, it is an ending tag. So, and this one is a starting tag. So we will add in a variable here manually a little after. So I'll just show it to you then. Right now, just move on to a little forward. Okay. So yeah. So the next thing I wanted to mention is now if I clicked on Hello World, and there is something called layout with wrap content. So, and there is also another option, 0DP. So 0DP basically stands for match constraint. So what that basically means is, as you can see here, when I click on 0DP, this from just the word size, it has extended to take up the entire screen size. So what happened here is basically it has extended to fit the size of its parent. So here the parent is the screen itself. So that's why it has taken the entire screen size here. So let me just give 0 dp for the height also. So you can see. Then now as both are 0, it takes the entire screen size and has extended. So if we give wrap content for the width, only the vertical entire area is taken. So that is why we give wrap content in both places. So it's very precise. It just takes the space required to store the content. Okay, so now you can see there are three options here: code, split, and design. So I'll just open code. So this is code. So it will be easier for you to understand if I use the split mode. So this is code, and this is how the screen looks. I'll just make this a little. I hope this is okay. So suppose I click here. So you can see this particular text view highlighted. So that means that this hello world is corresponded to by this text. And if I click on button, the button has been aligned. So that means this is what corresponds to this button. And it can also be done vice versa. So if I select text view here, you can see that text view is highlighted on the layout. So that is how they are connected. So this is XML code of the layout we have done. So either we can use, by dragging and placing components here, we can do it, just like that using the design. or we can code it here. So it's basically the choice of the user. So here, this particular line, Android text. So this is what will be shown on the screen. So this you can see hello world, this text is what we have put here. And in the button, it is done. So you can see in the button, it is in a different format. Remember this small lowercase done was used to reference the variable name, right? Not the content. So why is that different? So basically the difference here is this is how we use the variable we have created earlier. So at string slash variable. So that is a syntax for using that particular variable. So we can just try and make hello world into a variable and alter the value also. So this particular string, right, I had mentioned this earlier, right? So for creating a new variable, we start by giving the opening tag, give the name string. So you can see all of this suggestions come. So it is easier for you to click on suggestions and proceed further with the code. So but here for for you to understand easier, I'll just put in the word string here. And when you click, you can see this attribute automatically coming in because that is important. That is the name of our variable. So maybe I'll just put that as hello. And I'm closing the tag. So when I close that, automatically this particular thing comes up. So this is the ending tag and this is the opening tag. Okay, so now what the value present inside is what we'll be seeing on the screen. So earlier it was hello world, right? So now maybe let's change it to hey. Yeah. Okay. So now this is our new string. So let's go and see how to place that there. So instead of hard coding hello world here, we can replace it with a variable. So that is done by at string. So you can see hello has already come up as a suggestion. When I click on that, see the new resource value. So that is the value that we have stored in the variable comes up on the screen. So hey, I am drop. So this is showed on the screen. So yeah, I hope it is clear until now. So can you just say yes if it is all clear to you? Um, yeah. So the next thing I would like to mention about is this particular thing that is highlighted. Constraint layout. So a layout, it is actually the structure of the user interface. So it is how you view the screen. So basically there are multiple types of layouts. So we'll just talk about two basic ones here because if I talk about all of them, it will get too complex. Right? So I'll just talk about linear layout and constraint layout. So first let's talk about linear layout. So I'll just replace this by linear layout. So when I gave linear layout, you can see this particular changes come. So this is actually the button. So as we have coded this based on the constraint layout, there are certain problems when it comes to the relative layout, sorry, linear layout. So I'll just explain it to you. So as you can see, these are horizontally aligned, right? So when you can see this horizontal orientation. So when we give linear layout, the basic orientation is horizontal, even if we mention it or not. So that is why the components are aligned horizontally here. See, they are horizontally aligned. So suppose if the orientation was vertical here. See, they are now vertically aligned. That is, they are one below the other. The other one is in a row. This is one below the other. Okay, so this is how they are vertically aligned. So yeah, that is what linear layout is. Now I'll just mention constraint. So when I start typing itself, I have suggestions popping. So if your requirement is already there, you can just click on it rather than having to sit and mention each of the code every time. So this is just easy shortcut. Okay, so now constraint layout. So if we use linear layout throughout our application, we have to give multiple layouts, right? So maybe one layout for two use, another one for a different one. So it keeps getting complex. You go deeper and deeper in the layout, and it gets very nested and very complex. So a little into the code, you will get confused on what is what. So to avoid this problem is why constraint layout was introduced. So constraint layout, it kind of flattens the view error. So basically what that means is there is only one layout present here and all the other views are aligned based on that. So it reduces code complexity. So here the text view, button and node are just inside one layout, right? So it is easier for us to maintain and understand the code. So this is all I wanted to cover in this particular session. So if any of you have any doubts, just drop it in the chat box. I'll be glad to help you. So any suggestions or any doubts? There is like a delay of around 10 to 15 seconds. So please bear with us.
So, guys, if you guys have any doubts that would like to clear, please do drop them in the chats now. We'll look into them right now. Also, is everything clear up till now? What we have taken?
Yeah,
Please
if
do
you
tell
want
us
me
your
to
feedback.
maybe retake some topic, just mention it. I'll be glad to. Okay, I guess it's clear for everyone. All clear. Nice. Great.
Okay, good. So, have you guys started with this Android study jams or any sort of Android app development? Please do tell us. We'd like to hear from you.
If you haven't started, please do start on the course because if you need certificates, you have to complete this within January 10th. Please do keep that in mind when you start the course. If you complete all 6 units, we can give you the certificates for the particular course. And it is actually very, very useful because it is like it starts from the basics. So even if you have no prior coding experience, you can easily understand what is being told and taken. So just it's very easy and start off. So this is a
You can
course
check
link.
out this banner, course link.
This is
Please
the
do go
course
to
link.
that link and try out for
Start on
yourself.
your laptop. Okay. So I guess we have no doubts.
Also, do join our Discord server in case you have any queries at any point of time. We'll be there to help you. So, feel free to ask any queries in that Discord server. We have a dedicated channel for Android study jams. You can ask in the doubts section for that.
I started, but it says that my account is not eligible for that. Okay, so what do you mean by it is not eligible? Did you like make your make your developer profile public? Because it shouldn't be an issue. So if you have some other mail account, maybe try using that. Or if it still doesn't work, drop a message in the hashtag doubts Kotlin channel in the Discord server. We'll be glad.
if you face any issues, please do put it in the Discord server along with any screenshots or anything, so that it becomes more relevant to us. So we will look into that. Don't worry about it. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I did make it. Great.
Are there any more doubts or queries that you'd like to clarify now?
Or else we can wind the
Yeah,
session.
nothing. We'll wind up this session and see you guys in the next one. Any more doubts? Okay, so I think we don't have any more doubts. So thank you so much for joining into this session. I hope you guys got to learn a lot. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, Rachel, for taking this amazing session. And we'll see you guys in the next one. We'll be informing you through WhatsApp and Discord and everywhere. So please do join in for the next session and continue on with your Android journeys. So see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.